Sai Ram, Namaskar, Vandanam, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. So we looked at 2 weeks, first week on hope, second week on struggles and trust. And today I'd like to talk to you very briefly about surrender. Surrender. You know, most of the times we forget that there is someone who's actually willed and created us. We forget and we think that we are the doer. And often it is not until something hits us harshly that we actually realize, oh my God, this was completely out of my control. Then we say, oh God, why did this happen? So going back to my Bhajagovindam or Gita sessions, I'll tell you a little story about what surrender actually means in terms of how we should approach it in our daily lives, right? So there was this learned Pandit who was giving a discourse on Gita, and one day the Maharaja the king heard that, there's this learned Pandit who was, giving talks. So he said, I'll go and listen to this man. So when he went, the Pandit was saying, Ananyas chintayanto ma ye janaparyupashate tesa nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. And then he went on to explain, Ananyas chintayanto ma ye janaparyupashate. So he went on to explain each one of them. Now, when he finished, the Maharaja said, Panditji, I have a question. I don't think you have quite, given the right meaning. Why are you saying this in this way? Because, the Pandit was saying, Maharaj, everything is being done, to please you. And therefore, the meaning is, in that respect, to give credence to your ability to rule this kingdom and so on and so forth. Of course, the Pandit was thinking about, he knew the Maharaja was there, and he was thinking about what reward the Maharaj was going to give him. But the Maharaj said, no, it's not about me giving you the reward. I don't think you've quite grasped the true meaning. And then the Pandit was shocked because, he had won many accolades, many awards in many different lands and many different kingdoms. And he was quite surprised that the Maharaja thinks that he was saying the wrong things about the shloka. So the Maharaja then in the end said, look, I don't want to argue with you. I will give you 24 hours to go and reflect on this and come back and tell me the real meaning tomorrow. Otherwise, I will have to deal with you in a different way. And Maharaja went off, and this guy became so disturbed by that. He went home, and his wife saw that his face was not as bright as it usually is. And she asked him, why, what's the problem? And then he explained to her what the king said. And he says, this is the same explanation that I've given, all the time. And then the wife says, okay, you tell me, what explanation did you give? So he says, you have to, realize that, the one who is sat in front of you is the one who's going to be looking after you. So if you surrender to him. And she said, no wonder. I also would agree with the king and say that what you've said was wrong. He was thinking, what would you know? It's me. I am the one who's been talking all this time in all these places, and I'm the one with all these awards. Look behind you, all the accolades. This is what it means. This is the shloka, and this is the interpretation. This is the meaning. She said, no. Reflect on it properly. The inner significance. Ananyas chintayanto ma ye jana paryupashate. Only then, tesa nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Who is that aham? She asked. As long as you have ahamkara, you will not realize who that aham is, because there is no surrender. At that point, the man realized, oh my God. And he sat and he thought, I should have surrendered to the Lord, not to the king in my presence. So then he became very clear, you know. The next day, and the time came for him to go back to the king's, to see the king and explain the meaning. He didn't want to go. And the king waited for him, and then he sent his soldiers to fetch him. And then the Pandit told the soldiers, I have no need to come and explain to the king, because I do not need the king's help in any way, for I have surrendered to God. So God will look after my needs. So the soldiers carried this message back to the king. The king then came all the way, on his own. He said, no soldiers to follow me. I will go on my own to see this Pandit. He saw the Pandit and he fell at the feet of the Pandit and he said, now you have truly understood the meaning of surrender. So, dear friends, when we truly surrender, as did Prahalada, because there is no other, Mam Ekam Shranam Vrajaha, there is no other, then you will see the surrender personifying as a rescue. Right? Do not believe what I say, but put your own trust, your own faith, and your own surrender to test, and you will see that it will not go in vain. Until I see you next Thursday, stay blessed. Sai Ram.